All right, so yeah, please everybody remember to sign in. All right.
So, Dr. D.
Not much. How we doing?
Good, good.
Very nice. Semester's coming up to an end. Kind of what we're going to chat about today. So main point of today is going to be a review. Ask you guys any questions you want to ask. At the same time,
Hey, I got a question.
yeah.
So you gonna have a review on YouTube then?
Yeah, all of these are on YouTube, on that link that I sent out. All these videos, yeah. So they're dated with the class name and everything. I was looking for. Yeah. So where is? That's the range. All right. So one of the first things I definitely wanted to talk about is where is that? Just had it. So permutations and combinations. We didn't use this notation much, but we did talk about the underlying idea. So if you had, say, 3-digit combo. How many different possibilities do you have? How do we figure that out? So there's 3 digits, so we have 3 places, and each thing has 10 possibilities. So that equals 1,000. Multiply all those together. But we also talked about if you have no repeats, then what does that problem become? Well, 1, 2, 3. The first one you have 10. The second one, because you can't repeat, you have 9. And the third one, you have 8. So when you actually multiply this out, well, you get 720. But we had a shorthand way of writing 10 times 9 times 8. And we call that a factorial. So 5 factorial is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So any number with an exclamation point next to it means that number minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, all the way down to 1. This is a little bit different. This is 10 factorial, but there's only 3 spots. So you divide it by 10 minus 3 factorial. And what you're left with is 10 times 9 times 8. So you only have the first 3 of the numbers in the 10 factorial. There's a shorthand for this. And it looks like this.
That's on a calculator, right?
I'm sorry?
That's on a calculator, right? You can
It might be. But it just means you could think about it a couple of different ways. If you like to remember this equation, it's I think the letters they use are N and R. So, I mean, it's possible you could have this on a calculator. Some might, but I mean, it's not really that hard to even. A lot of calculators also have the exclamation point. Mine does. I think you can do the exclamation point on like Google, has a little calculator. But worst case scenario, you know that NPR just means the first this many the first this many of this factorial. So you start at this number and you count down by ones this many times. All right, so this is the format that they use in the the test. So let's do a couple quick examples because I want this to make sense. So 10p2. What does that equal? You don't have to give me the final number of these. You can, but I'm curious just about the multiplication parts. So what are you going to multiply together when you see this thing?
Ten, right?
Okay, so you're going to start with 10.
Would be 10 factorial.
So if you want to do the full dividing version,
Oh, okay.
then it would be 10 factorial.
Oh, so you trying to like it's a shorter way? That's what you
Well, I'm saying you don't have to go to this step every time, but you can. So this is 10 factorial over what?
10 minus 2.
Very good. What is that equal to?
90.
Yeah. So it's 10 times 9. So this is what I was talking about, is you do 10, you start with this number, and then you multiply by 1 minus that number, but you do that this many times. So there's only 2 of them. So you start with this one, and then you start with the one below it. You could have, and you are correct, you do get 9. You could have 6p3. So we start with 6, but we're going to need 3 of them. So 6 times 5 times 4, which is 120. So this understanding, when you see this, understanding what it means, because it does pop up, but the other way you could say this, and this might be useful, is in PR, R is the number of, we'll call them slots in the thing that you're looking for. If you're talking about passwords, it's the number of, letters or something that password has to have. And in equals number of things to go in. But remember, this is only for non-repeatable. Things. So it's only if you have 26 letters and you can't use any repeats. That's the kinds of questions that this covers. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so that's the main issue of the main issue of notation that I wanted to cover is that appears a good bit in these online tests. There wasn't really a way to get around it, so rather just introduce it. Okay, so I think that was the only real thing that definitely needed to get brought up. Yeah, okay. So from here on, I'm happy to discuss whatever you guys want to talk about. And we'll go ahead and say that, so for those of you who don't know, been under a rock, the test number 4 is up on WebAssign, and it is available until this Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Please do not wait until then to start trying to take it, because it will not go great. And on top of that, I would suggest taking one of your attempts during Tuesday or Thursday. I will be having kind of extended office hours where I will be sitting on the computer during doing paperwork and stuff, but I will be logged in to that voice chat that I said to use for my office stuff, and you can hop on there. You can ask me a question. You can send me a message with a picture of the question that you have, or something like that. That way, I can immediately answer it, and the log is easy to read. I highly suggest using that Discord program, but you're not required to. It is much easier, I think, to use for those kinds of situations than email is. So, but it's up to you. Okay. So yeah, I'll be sitting on the computer pretty much all day, Tuesday and Thursday, doing paperwork. So those would be good times to take it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So from now, I'm here to talk about whatever you guys want to discuss. What do you want to see more of? Don't be shy.
Dr. Dean, is quartile and all that stuff gonna be on the test?
Is what?
The quartile and all that, is that gonna be on the test?
Yes. I think most of the questions in that pool are about percentiles, but I think there are a couple quartiles. Is that something that you would like to?
No, I was just asking.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm happy to, but just trying to see what everybody needs, wants. It's what I'm here for. So.
Hey, Dr. Dean, what videos do we need to go over to study for?
I mean,
like how far back?
Just back to the last test, which was was that 3 weeks ago? So let's see. Let's see. I don't. I mean, what is that? So that was April 3rd. So yeah, basically back through the last two or 3 weeks. Yeah, let's just say the last 3 weeks. But the sections are easier, are actually easier to look at. If you look at your syllabus, I'm going to share this. So on the notes that I've posted, it's 10.1 through, we only got to 13.2, really 13.1. So yeah, these are the notes sections that you want to review. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's my best suggestion to you is to use those. Yeah. And those are up on Genzabar under resources, which is also where the test for study guide is. So go check that out. Let's see. So if you go to e-learning, Mat-110, resources. So test for review sheets right here. This has all of my completed notes. So I've added some notations to them. And then this is the uncompleted ones. So I have not finished uploading all of my completed versions, but they should be up hopefully today. But you can at least look at the 110 lessons. So all the slides that I showed you are right there. If you have any questions about how the test actually runs, you can check out this document, online tests, that has the rules, the suggestions, that kind of thing. So, yeah, okay. So what about, yeah, what about anything else? What do we want to see, talk about, discuss? Nothing? You guys gonna do perfect? Like it. I like that.
When is the exam?
When?
Yeah.
So it's open right now, and it's due Saturday by midnight. There's 2 of them, or no, 3 of them.
Is it timed?
Yep. So let's share this screen. So you've got 3 different attempts. You do not have to take all 3. if you do great in one of them and the first one, and you don't want to waste time with the other two or something, that's fine. You don't have to take those. So don't I guess don't stress yourself out worrying about them. Also, kind of with that, when you look up your overall scores and your overall percentage, don't necessarily just look at that and say, oh, that's my grade. I said this in the beginning of the semester, but that does not calculate or weigh everything correctly. In the grade book, your actual grade is probably much higher than what shows there. Because, like I said, if you take the first test and you do great, then you just ignore the other two. WebAssign thinks that you got a 0 for those, so your points will be all out of whack because it does not grade. You can't apply a curve and take the highest of 3 opportunities. So it makes your overall percentage look a lot worse than it really is. So don't just look at that and say, oh my God, I've got a 50% in the class. Well, because that includes every possible test and everything. But with that, also, please do your homework, because there's, it looks like a ton of assignments, but each assignment is actually very small. So do as much as you can is due by next Sunday night at 11:59. Remember, the tests are due Saturday night, and all the homework has to be done by next Sunday night. Do not wait. If you haven't done it yet, do it now. Okay.
How did you get to that?
How did I get to what? So
The overall grade.
yours, the overall grade, I didn't pull that up because if you look at that, if I looked at that, it would tell you that, it would tell you everyone else's grades. Let's see. Okay, maybe I can try this. Hold on. So if I go into student view, y'all's looks like this. Okay. So if I go in and I look at my assignments, it has your score that you have for that assignment out of however many points. I don't think I can, I can't, since I don't have anything in, I can't look at that from my screen. But you guys have all of your scores for each of your homeworks, if that's what you want to look at. You can also look at my grades or class insights. Okay. Yeah, so you can look at class insights, I guess. And it will show you how you did out of those sections. So yeah, so if you're curious, check that out. All right, so what other questions? Y'all got about 10 minutes to ask me just about whatever you want. So I would suggest making them count. Wednesday and Friday, we will be going over final exam stuff, how that's going to work, and doing review and everything. But for now, I wanted you to focus on test number 4. Yeah. What else you got? Nothing at all. I don't believe that. Somebody's got to have something out there.
Which section was on the percentiles in? Was that 10.2?
Let's see. So where's my?
Wasn't there a formula for that?
Yeah. So that would be measures of position, 10.3. Yeah. So percentiles, quartiles, that kind of thing, those were measures of position.
All right.
Good question. All right. Who's next? Who's next? So, nothing. Come on, y'all. Y'all should use this time to ask. Don't even have to, ask me out loud if you're embarrassed for some reason. Send me a private message. I just want to give you guys some time to chance to get some help, or please come into my office hours stuff. I'm happy to help, but I don't know what help you need if nobody tells me. All right. Well, guess that's all we've got. So please get with me if you've got any questions or issues. Otherwise, good luck on your test, and I'll be around. So shoot me a message if you need anything. All right. Y'all have a good rest of your day.